The Radiator Springs Classics line that Mattel did for their Disney Cars diecast line has always been one of my favorite extended universe lines. And I mean, I wouldn't even call it an extended universe line, just a separate line, not in the main line of Disney Cars diecast, because of course, every car released in the series, did appear in one of the films, usually from the first Cars film. The weird thing about the line is, when it started in 2013, there were really no new cars. So I'm very glad that, later on, as they kind of started to revamp the line in 2016 and 17, I am really glad that they finally started to include some actual new cars in the line. And luckily, we have one of them right here today. So welcome on back to the Cars Garage, everyone. Of course, as you can see, we have none other than Jonas Revera. So, of course, one of the old tourists that, of course, traveled to Radiator Springs in the flashback scene in the first Cars movie, of course. Now, he is actually just a repaint of another character, that being Mildred Pylane, of course, who, shares the same model, the same expression, same wheels. The only thing that's really different about the two is that Jonas here is a different color, and here is Mildred, just for reference. We'll show them later, of course, but it's just funny that Mattel did that. It's a complete repaint, like everything about it. The mold is just exactly the same. And of course, they're both made in China too, so that makes them even more similar. But yeah, it's just nice to take a step back in time and look at some of the, old retro cars diecast, because we don't really have all that many of them. Mattel canceled a few over the years, like Grant Greenlight, Nikki B. Luckily, they ended up releasing Nikki B in 2020. But there's just I don't know. There's so much potential to release more, because there's so many cool. Even like a lot of them are repaints, but there's a lot of other cool models I think they haven't done yet from these old retro cars that just appeared in the flashback scene when we got to see Radiator Springs in its heyday in the first Cars film. So I really wish Mattel would dive into that a little more and start giving us some more new ones, because it's been a while. I think ever since Nikki B in I think 2020 she got released. But this guy, however, he was in a 3-pack, and he was the exclusive car in that 3-pack, with, of course, none other than old school Ramon here and Greta. So it was a very nice 3-pack. I remember getting it for my birthday in 2017. A very weird time to release this pack. I remember thinking, a little weird. I wasn't as in the know back then, so I thought it was a little weird to get a Cars 1 themed 3-pack when, 2017 was Cars 3 season. Of course, I was all about Cars 3 shortly after that, because when I got this on my birthday in late April, it was pretty brand new, I think, maybe a few months old at the time. So it was kind of weird because, May 1st, all the Cars 3 diecast would be out. So just a few days, really just like 1 week pretty much after I got this pack, it was just all Cars 3, and that just dominated all of the pegs ever since then. But I remember getting it at Toys R Us here in Canada. We still have them. And yeah, that was pretty fun. Well, back in the day, in 2017, when this came out, Toys R Us was everywhere, so I guess everyone had a good shot at finding this. They actually did another 3-pack also, maybe even 3-3-packs, but only 2, I think, contained new cars. Of course, this one with Jonas, and then the other one had the exclusive car Percy Handbrakes, so a repaint of Edwin Cranks, and I think it also included brand new Mater and Edwin Cranks himself. So, kind of a weird time to be a Cars diecast collector, but also a fun time, because you never really knew what to expect. But, without any further ado, it's time to take a closer, in-depth look at Jonas here. Now, Jonas actually doesn't have any speaking lines, of course, but he does appear quite a few times in the flashback scenes in the first Cars movie, and we get to see him, like a nice front view of him going down the interstate at one point, and then we get to see him kind of pulling out of the oil pan building, or one of those old abandoned buildings. They weren't abandoned back then, of course, but yeah, it's evident that he was definitely a traveler. He never lived in Radiator Springs, but of course he must have went there a lot. So it's kind of unfortunate that him and really every other traveler that went to Radiator Springs pretty much just forgot about the town once that pesky interstate was built. I mean, it really is quite a sad story. Now, what's really cool about this character is that he's actually named off of the real-life Jonas Revera, who was the production manager of Cars. So, pretty darn cool. And also, Jonas Revera, the real-life one, obviously he actually voiced Boost in the movie. So, pretty darn cool how they obviously Jonas in the movie didn't have any speaking lines, but it's cool that he voiced the character and he actually worked behind the scenes. Pretty fascinating to me to learn little things like that. I found it out when I looked it up, but They obviously did carify the name a little bit. They changed it from Riv era to Rev era, so they just swapped out the I for an E to be like, Rev, because it relates to cars, and they always like to clarify the names. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad that they did do that. But yeah, he is just a repaint, of course. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't mind that it's a repaint, even though he does look very similar to Mildred here. Same model, same expression, and everything. But at the same time, it's like, they don't release these cars very often from the retro scenes of Radiator Springs from the heyday, so I don't really mind if it is just a repaint. They could have at least changed the expression, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, not that big of a deal. I love his expression, though, even though it is the exact same as Mildred's. How he's looking off to the left like that. Very nice. Nice little smile there. Really cool front end, though. I like all the little, individual lines his grill has. There's, 10 little silver pieces of it. Very cool. And the line down the middle. Good to see his nice headlights. He actually colored them in, so that's different than Mildred's, because, Mildred just had silver headlights, but Jonas here actually has full on, the top ones at least, they're very detailed. See the actual light bulbs and the yellow glare of the light kind of shining through. The bottom one, the turn signal light, I guess, is just silver though. Nice, chrome accents everywhere. Thing on the side here definitely reminds me of Doc's little side decal that he has, little embossment. That starts off behind the rim and then it comes up there. Really cool over all the wheel wells. Very nice white wall tires. One bad thing about this expression, though, is that the eyes, the eyelids actually, they're not really the right color. They made them blue, when technically they should be the same cream color that he has up here. It's a really cool, though, top, though, that he has. It's like a tarp, I guess, on him, which is something we don't see very often. On only cars I can think of that have a tarp on them is the Baja racers, maybe, and Sarge, of course. But not a whole lot of cars have a tarp like this, which would technically mean it's a convertible, which Mildred, she wasn't. So she just had it's supposed to be metal on top. Well, it is metal in the diecast, but in the movie it's supposed to be metal. But here, this is, I think, supposed to be a tarp, unless it's, I don't know, I guess maybe it could just be a different paint job. I don't know, I thought it was a tarp. The way it's almost looks a bit wavy. I guess not, though. If it was a tarp, it'd probably have some, I don't know, some ruffles and stuff in it, but it doesn't. It's just pretty smooth. I don't know, hard to tell. But I just love the baby blue color that he has on him. One of my favorite colors, probably, and I've seen it in a long time. Very nice. I love the white wall tires, silver rims there. Looks very cool. Just has little plastic inserts, or almost like rubber, I guess, hard rubber, for his mirrors, but they look good. Here's a look at the back here. 2769 is the license plate. Says, I don't know what that says on top, but I do. Well, I mean, I can't read it, but I know what it says because I looked it up online. It says Solendo. So I don't know where that's supposed to be. If it's a carification of some town in the States, I don't know. Doesn't sound like any notable towns or states that I know. Definitely not a state. I don't know what it is, but cool license plate. It looks like, oh man, I think it's the same. That kind of sucks. I think it's the same as Mildred's. Mine is completely dismantled though. I don't know what happened to it. I think it was always like that. Because I never really played with Mildred all that much. I think I got her in 2013. But I believe if it was intact and you could actually read it, it'd probably be the same license plate. So that kind of sucks. Don't know why they didn't change it. But oh well. Got his nice little red taillights there. Cool little silver thing. I guess that'd be like the trunk opener, maybe? I don't know. Hard to tell. Love how circular he is, though. All his windows and everything. Very cool. Very long car, too. Very, heavy, though, and full of metal. Very thick in the front and, slopes down in the back. A lot of old cars look like this. Kind of reminds me of Doc Hudson or Louise Nash. Really like it, though. One of my favorite retro Radiator Springs cars, if not my favorite. There's his date stamp, so it says 3266, I think. It's hard seeing it through the camera. So yeah, that would be very late 2016, almost the last day of the year. 326th day. Or does that say 8? Let me see. Okay, so it's 3286. So the 328th day of 2016 it was made, which definitely means he was released and sold in 2017. So good to know. I didn't forget. But I really like the packaging that 3-pack he came in had. It was really cool. Very classic looking. I liked how they revamped the Radiator Springs Classics line in 2017. They gave us some deluxes in the line, all these semi cabs and stuff that were very rare before. And then they gave us a few multi-packs and some new singles as well. The singles weren't as exciting. But too bad they kind of ended the line shortly after that. They did it for Cars 3, I guess, a little bit, but then after that, that was really it. They kind of brought it back, though, with the Welcome to Radiator Springs series, but hard to say if that's really, the same series or not. I would say it's not. Yeah, pretty much the same car in terms of, the mold, the casting. Of course, Mildred is two-toned as well with her paint, but she has two-tone, on the bottom here, so it's cool that they changed it up and everything. Are completely different characters, and one's a female, one's a male. So it's good that they changed it up. And I believe he is a 1944 Hollismobile Driftwood. That is what they call him online. There's really no information about his character or anything, unfortunately. But that's pretty much all we know. That he's a 1944 Hollismobile Driftwood. So cool that we have a name for him. Put the Radiator Springs sign in the back. But yeah, just a nice quick little review. Just wanted to shed some light on an older diecast. One of my subscribers was really looking forward to me reviewing this guy, so I figured I would. Why not? I was actually supposed to review him in the 12 Cards of Christmas series I did last year. Never got around to it, though. I picked, I think, the Yeti instead to do. I wanted to do this guy because his paint almost looks like icy, so I thought, this would be kind of cool to do in that series, but I never ended up doing it. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time on the Cars Garage.